Hello everyone, let's start our new chapter of History 8 Devotional Paths to the Divine. Yes, the period of our studies saw various religious development and the merge of religious teacher. Usually you have seen the people perform rituals of worship, singing in form of singing, bhajan, kirtan, kavali, even repeating the name of God in silence, isn't it or not? And you notice that sometimes that some of them are moved to tears. What is all these things showing us? That is the devotion, that particular that devotee devotion toward his God, his or her God. Such intense devotion or love God is legacy of various kind of bhakti and Sufi movement that have evolved since the 8th century. Idea of Supreme Court. Before, as you have read in your 60s, the small villages convert into Janpadas, then Janpadas move into form into Mahajanpadas. But before large kingdom emerged, a different group of people worship their own god. Okay, as people were brought together through the growth of trade, towns, trade, empire. So when they mingle with each other, so new idea began develop. They exchange their ideas with each other. The idea that all living things pass through the countless cycle of birth and rebirth, performing of good deeds and bad, came to be widely accepted. So the idea of that all human beings are not equal, even from their birth side, they are distributed. In that time, the society were distributed on the basis of their profession, and the profession again on the basis of their birth. So the society were not equally the distribution. The human being are divided on the basis of their birthplace and on the basis of their profession. So the belief that the social privileges came from birth in a noble family or high caste was the subject of many learned texts. Means the noble, those are belong to or those came from birth in the noble family, so they uh, perform that kind of birth, and those are came from birth in a Brahman family, so they learn many texts. So the idea is that the concept is that the idea, the permission of bhakti is only the upper caste people or the Brahmins. The other section of the society were not including for bhakti. So for this, the many people start joining the other way of bhakti. Many people were uneasy with such ideas that the people segregated on the basis of their profession, on the basis of their birthplace. So the people start join other movement. So first the people turn to the teaching of Buddha and Jainism, because according to it was possible to overcome the social differences and break the cycle of rebirth through the personal efforts, through by the good deeds. Okay. Now many people that time they other idea that God, the the idea of supreme God, the many people attracted by the idea of supreme God, who could deliver human from such bondage. If we approach if we wanted to approach the Supreme Court, we only approach by the devotion, by the bhakti. So these idea advocated in which sacred text, that is Bhagavad Gita, it is written that only through bhakti you can reach your God, you can reach your deity. That time Shiva, Vishnu, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu and Goddess Durga as supreme deity came to be worshipped, who elaborate rituals. बड़े बड़े यज्ञ वगैरह होके इनकी पूजा की जाती थी. At the same time, the gods and the goddesses worshipped in different areas came to be identified with the Shiva, Vishnu, and Durga. Okay, now here we come to know about the new kind of bhakti in South India. So the word bhakti means devotion. It refers to the close personal bond between God and devotee. And the devotee express their feeling toward its deity by the songs, chanting mantras, by Kavali, Bhajan Kirtan. And the bhakti movement focused purely on devotion to the supreme being, and it rejected the complex ritual and caste system, which created division amongst people. So let's talk about the two kind of bhakti in South India. That were Nayanars and Alvas. Let's come to know what is the meaning of these. So what are the meaning of these? First, the 7th to the 9th century, that saw the new movement of bhakti, new religious movement, which were led by the Nayanars and Alvas. Now the devotee or the sense of devotee of Shiva, they organize themselves in one group, that is Nayanar, who led this association, this organization known as Nayanars, and the other sent devotee to Vishnu. Okay, so they led this organization. So the Nayanar and Alvars strengthened the Bhakti movement in the South India from the 7th to 9th century. They preached complete devotion to God. Their writing were in Tamil and Telugu. Why? Because which were easily understood by the common people. That was their language. Some of these saints were Brahman, while the others joined these. It is not compulsory that only the Brahman were join this. No, the other caste, you can say the untouchable caste peoples also join this new movement, new religious movement. Okay. So the Nayanar and the Alvar went from place to place and composing exhaustive poems and the praise to the deity. Descent wander from temple to temple, singing devotional songs. Many temples were constructed at shrines associated with them. So let's come to here. So in the beginning, there were the 63 Nayanars who belonged to different caste backgrounds. As I told you, that many different caste people join these groups, these new religious groups. There's no discrimination that the person belong to, devotee belong to which caste, which profession, which place of birth. So the many untouchable caste people also join that. So to different caste backgrounds such as potters, untouchable worker, peasants, hunter, soldiers, Brahman, chiefs, they join this. The best known among them, they were Apar, Sambandar, Sundrara, or Mani Kavya Sagar, the famous saint of this movement, the Nayanars movement. And there are the two set of completion of their song. That was their bhajan, their songs, the compiling two books. The name of that books are Tevaram and True Vakam. And if we talk about the Alvas, so there were in the beginning 12 Alvas were very famous, who came from the equal divergent background. The best being are the Pari Yalvar and his daughter Andal, or Tundar Tiapodi Alvar and Namavar Alvar. So their song is compiled in which book? Divya Prabandha. Nayanar's book compiled in two books, Tevaram or Tiruvakkam, and Alvar's song compiled in one book, that was Divya Prabandham. And now the autobiography, biography of these saints known as hagiography. So the religious biography of the saint of Albert and Nayanas, known as biography, were composed. Today we use these texts as a source of history. The historian used these books to come to know about the history. Whatever the biography written by these saints, that is known as the religious biography, known as a hagiography. Next, move on next topic, philosophy and bhakti. Yes. So here we talk about two great saints, Adi Shankaracharya and Ramanuj. Adi Shankaracharya, one of the most famous Hindu thinker who tried to re-examine the Vedic literature or Vedic philosophy. He was born in a poor Brahmin couple in Kerala. When he lost his father in a very young age, he wanted to adopt the ascetic life and to use all kind of knowledge for the betterment of the society. The essence of Shankaracharya teaching was that God and his creation are the same. Atma and Paramatma are same. He emphasized that only through knowledge we can attain salvation, mukti पा सकते हैं. He emphasized that knowledge are the same, and they emphasized knowledge are important to reach the God. Shankaracharya traveled across the country to country and South Asia to spread his teaching. He founded four monasteries and math at Dwarika, Badrinath, Srinagari, and Puri. These helped in the development and spread his philosophy. He's considered he was advocated Aditya, the doctrine of oneness of individual soul and supreme God, which is the ultimate, that the individual soul meet the universal soul, and reality was a formless and without any attribute. And he said that we people living in the world of illusion, and we people always catch by the web of this illusion. If he said, if you want to attain the true word, truth of the life, so only by with the help of knowledge you can. So next, Ramanuj, who born in Tamil Nadu in 11th century, he deeply influenced by Alvars. According to him, if you want to attain the salvation, so you need intense devotion to Vishnu. And with the help of devotion, you can attain salvation. So he propounded the doctrine of Vaishya Aditya. The qualified one is the sole, even untidy Supreme Court remain distinct. कि आत्मा परमात्मा से मिलके एक अलग यूनिक आइडेंटिटी क्रिएट करती है. And the Ramanuj theory inspired by the new trend of bhakti, which developed in North India subcontinentally. He believed that the soul, God, and the universe are belong to one reality. They are united, but still distinct from one another. He also preached that the idea of devotion of God was more important than knowledge. So he emphasized on devotion. And Adi Shankaracharya, who emphasized on knowledge. Let's talk about Basvana and Vairya Shaivism. So you notice that there is a great link between the Tamil Bhakti movement and the temple worship. So in turn, delayed reaction, the best represented in the Veerashaiva movement initiated. Who initiated this movement? Baswana and his companion, who's companion like Alamma Prabhu and Akamma Devi, who initiated this movement, Veerashaiva movement. So who initiated by it? This movement initiated by Baswana and his companion Alamma Prabhu and Akamma Devi. This movement began in Karnataka in mid 12th century. And what was in this teaching, that he strongly argued that all human are equal, the equality of all human beings, and against the Brahmical idea that they divided the people on the basis of their place of birth and by their or on the basis of their profession. So they were strongly urged that all human beings are equal. They were also against all form of ritual and idol worship. वो मूर्ति पूजा को नहीं मानते थे. In next class, we will continue with the saint of Maharashtra.